Capricorn, welcome to your weekly astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In these weekly videos, I review the major planetary aspects and transits, and I let you know how they're going to impact your Capricorn natal sun, and I'll let you know what that means for your bottom line. To understand this video and to enjoy it, all you have to know is your birthday. Everything else I'm going to translate for you. I'm going to start off really broad with the current charts, the current configuration, the global energy, and then I'm going to focus things down into Capricorn specific information. And then I'm going to break everything down into the 3 decans of Capricorn. A decan is a group of 10 degrees. And by doing that, I'll be able to understand the aspects that are forming to your different natal suns. And I'll let you know how that's going to impact you in particular. This is a much more accurate way of understanding what Capricorns are going through because they're absolutely not being affected all the same way. So let's go on to the big stuff. This is for the week of August 16th to the 22nd, 2023. I'll write it down so I can remember it. The big stuff. Oh, new moon today, baby. August 16th. Beautiful new moon. You know, if I could take the energy of the new moon in isolation, which you never really can, but it's actually really beautiful. Got a new moon in Leo, right? That's when the moon conjuncts the sun. But it's also conjunct Venus. A very romantic energy, very passionate, very decadent, very graceful, optimistic energy. This is a great time for a new beginning, but a surprising new beginning because that's right, this new moon and all week long the sun, but this new moon in particular on the 16th is going to be square to Uranus because it's at 23 degrees Leo and Uranus is at 23 degrees 23 degrees Taurus. So it's going to be an odd and peculiar mix. It is going to incite independence and even personal rebellion. We want something new in our lives. Get ready for new passionate love affairs with people that you weren't attracted to yesterday and may not be attracted to next month. But right now you want to step outside of the ordinary and into the freak game, baby. And yeah, you will be wanting to try and experiment and indulge because this moon is going to be conjunct Venus, and Venus is also square to Jupiter. Venus square Jupiter all week long is very decadent and indulgent energy. It's excessive in its, earthly pleasures, sensual pleasures, eating too much, drinking too much, too much, all that kind of too much. I mean, this is some freaking new moon. I mean, it's really passionate though, and it's kind of playful. I love this energy. I think it's really fun. There's a lot of other stuff going on around it. Oh, other things. This is also trine to the North Node and sextile to the South Node, baby. So this is very much understanding and owning everything that you know about yourself, a personal awareness of where you've been, where you've come from, and then allowing yourself to be open to stuff that maybe it's almost like being comfortable with the uncomfortable, being comfortable with the stuff that like being comfortable moving forward and introducing new things into your life. What do I mean by that? Well, the North Node is in Aries, so this is sort of trying to balance out your sense of independence and individuality and who you are. When the South Node is in Libra, which is all about partnership and connectivity to each other. So I think it's definitely this new moon is giving us more independence. I mean, with the interaction with Uranus, the trine with the North Node, it's just asking us almost to get comfortable with new shit. That's kind of what it's asking us to do. All week long, we have a grand trine in the air, and it's something that we need to talk about because I think it's really interesting energy that it's happening right now. I'll explain why I say that. So we have Mars that is in Virgo. It's at 22, 23 degrees Virgo. It's going to be up to 26 degrees Virgo by the end of this week. 26 degrees Virgo, that's going to be trine to Pluto, which is 28 degrees Capricorn. It's going to stay that way. And then we have Uranus at 23 degrees. So we have this grand trine of sort of oddity, but energized oddity, taking hold of us and almost getting kind of lackadaisical and comfortable with the seemingly impossible or the something's not quite right about it. But it's almost like we're taking action on this sort of breakthrough, imaginary impulse. Interesting energy, right? Even more interesting because Neptune is in direct opposition to Mars conjunct Mercury, which is a big old brain fuck, to be honest with you. In a lot of ways, it's almost like you have all this confidence and you have all this certainty in shit that ain't real. Isn't that weird? It's in this energy that people can be very easily deceived, very easily sucked into something different. So understand something. If you're looking at something brand new, different, and totally like a total left turn off of what you normally do, don't do it. This is a time to sort of dig your heels in, and as much as you're tempted, to stick to the plan. That's going to make you as unique as possible because most of these fools are going to be led away by phantoms. I'm just going to let you know that. I'm just going to let you know. Let's move into Capricorn specific energy. What is that? Well, Capricorn specific energy, I look at what's going on in Capricorn, the zodiac sign, and then I look at what's happening with your ruling dignitary. For those of you who don't know, Capricorn's ruling dignitary is Saturn. It's why you guys are so serious. It's why you're adults by the time you're 2 weeks old. It's why you are work oriented. I've seen this 100 times with my personal readings. Almost like 90% of all my clients are always asking about love, romance, love, romance, love, romance. My Capricorns, first thing on their mind, career, money, career, money, career, money. That's passion. You know what I'm saying? That's where you focus. That's where your focus is. So this is all Saturnian energy. Saturn is a planet that rules restrictions, rules, laws, regulations. But it also rules hard work, earning your way, maturity, steadfastness, consistency, and tenacity. So it's not all bad, I gotta say. Let's look at what Capricorn is doing. Pluto is in Capricorn at 28 degrees. And that's intense energy. That means bringing about change, right? Bringing about total destruction to pave way for something new to come up. But we have to watch what is arising new. We really, really do have to watch. I just thought of Maui. God bless them. Let's pray for them and send relief if you can. But that is an example of very plutonic energy, total destruction. But it leaves way for newness to come up. But what is coming up? And that's what we have to be watching out. Like, don't believe this flim-flam shit. You know, don't believe it. You know, the sense of being put in a compromised situation so that people can take advantage of you and you believe they're your friend. Don't fucking believe it. This is not the time to believe it. This is the time to say, I know things have gotten hard, but I also know my own strength. Thank you so much. I can read fucking build. Right? It's like, stay true to what you know. Remember, toward this week, something that you do have to understand is by the 17th, on the 17th, Saturn is going to be opposite the moon, and which is coming right out of the new moon. And then interestingly enough, by the 22nd and all the way through September 3rd, Saturn is going to be in opposition to the sun. So first it opposes the moon, which is usually family shit coming up or personal stuff coming up. It's like your heart versus the powers that be. And then we have, it's like intuition versus rules, laws, regulation, and authority. And then we have 822, Saturn is going to oppose the sun. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that there's definite conflict with our sense of personal authority. There's definite conflict or constant frustration and agitation when it comes to maybe not having enough personal authority at all. There can be conflicts between the status quo, the rules, the regulations, and what the heart says, what the purpose is, where you know the true light is, or even this sense of starting to see that maybe who led you or leads you is not as competent as you would like them to be. So interesting how we're moving in that direction. I'm pointing that out. So let's break everything down into the decan, shall we? So you guys know personally how this energy this week could affect you. So, of course, a decan is a group of 10 degrees, and every zodiac sign has 3 of them because every zodiac sign is a total of 30 degrees. If you've seen your natal chart, you know that your natal sun sits on one of those 30 degrees. So if your natal sun is sitting on 0 to 9 degrees Capricorn, it's in the first decan of Capricorn, and you are Capricorn 1s. This correlates to December Capricorn birthdays. So December 22nd through the 31st would definitely be you guys. Cuspers would be December 22nd, 23rd, and absolutely December 21st if, in fact, the sun was already in Capricorn on the 21st where you were born, and you are a Capricorn who was born on the 21st. Sometimes that does happen, absolutely. Your natal suns are actually, okay, they're sextile to Saturn. So this has been a huge growth period for you. Lots of opportunities, not only for maturity, but also for confidence and being able to actually really know your purpose and figure things out. It's a great time to grow and expand, especially in your career. That's been all year, though. We've talked about that. We'll talk about it all year. It's going to be happening all year. In retrograde, Saturn, you may have calmed down a little bit. That's fine. No big deal. Calming down just means you're doing internal work for what you have to prepare for. And that's great. You'll be having opportunities and experiences while Saturn is in retrograde that will prepare you for all the stuff that you're going to need to know to actually run shit. End of week by 8/22. There is a trine to the sun. Your natal suns will be trine to the current sun. That is very confident energy. That is a very high self-esteem. That is very feeling good with yourself. It's not about arrogance or authority over others. It's about wanting to be seen, feeling comfortable being seen, and feeling comfortable in your own sense of self. So that is a very helpful aspect that will invigorate you with confidence as well as courage. So you can look forward to that helping you out, especially when areas of your life that you need the help, it's going to be there for you. Could also be a little bit of romantic energy. Just saying. Capricorn 2s. If you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Capricorn, you are Capricorn 2s. This correlates to January 1st through 11th birthdays. And yes, those dates at the beginning and the end can toggle depending on, when the sun enters Capricorn that year, but that's an estimate. If you want the exact, always go to your natal chart. And it's free, and it's easy to get a natal chart. And no, this is not a commercial. This is just, you can go online and search free natal chart or free birth chart, and a ton of websites do it for free. You need your birth date, your birth time, and your birth location. If you're born in the States, this is all on your birth certificate, but I know those born outside of the States have told me that it's not as easy to find your birth time. Your mother usually knows this. I mean, there's usually somebody in your family that remembers around at least the estimate of when you were born. Just an FYI. Capricorn 2s, your natal suns are in a semi-square to Saturn. What does that mean? Just a little bit of frustration and stubbornness, or an extra sense of stubbornness to your character, especially if you think you're being attacked or somebody's trying to take control over you. This is actually a long-term aspect for the rest of this year. So know that about yourself when you get into situations, and try to be in a place where you can ground yourself and give yourself self-love, so that this doesn't become an insecurity that blocks you from abundance or progress. You also have a square to Chiron, which means when your sun is square to Chiron, it feels like it's always being challenged. Like, why does everything have to be so frickin' hard? This is going to be especially true for those of you who are born around the 9th, 10th, or 11th of January, because Chiron is at the very end of the second decan of Aries, is at 19 degrees Aries. So those of you born around basically 18, 19, and 20 degrees Capricorn are really, really going to feel this powerful pull by Chiron. Yeah, that's all year long. I'm just letting you guys know that this is a kind of a shit show. It's challenging energy that people earlier Capricorn 2s have already kind of been through, and you guys will start to feel this loosening up, right? It just feels like, why is everything so difficult? Why is everything so challenging? Maybe even feeling in a way that I'm not good enough, a lot of challenging of your own sense of value. And why is it doing this? To make you stronger, to make you learn and prove to yourself that yes, you are very valuable, and you will know that by the end of this cycle, which is about next year around this time. We have a trine to Jupiter this week into next week. It'll be there for a while. This is actually very lucky energy, fortunate enough to be optimistic and expansive. Put yourself, use this energy especially when you're frustrated and you're feeling stuck. Educate yourself, learn about new cultures, learn about new philosophies. This is a good time to break outside of your box because maybe some things aren't working for you anymore. This is a wonderful energy for you to grow and develop, especially your interests and what you believe about yourself and what you think you're capable of doing. And then you have a semi-square to Venus in retrograde, not semi-square, I'm sorry, a quincunx, which means there's sort of something coming from either financial situations or romantic interests or relationships that's putting a spur in your side and is constantly causing agitation in order for you to confront something or realize something about what you value and what you put value into, and maybe you need to recalibrate that a little bit. That's just an FYI this week. Okay, let's move on to Capricorn 3s. So Capricorn 3s, if you know your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Capricorn, you are Capricorn 3s. This correlates to Capricorn birthdays or January birthdays between, say, January 12th and the 22nd. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct to Pluto, especially if you're at the cusp of Aquarius. Pluto is at 28 degrees, which means you guys are going to be experiencing this grand trine because of Mars. This sense of you have a long-term trine to Uranus. Conjunct Pluto trine to Uranus. Can you say, hey, freak day, what's going on? This is a major radical change. This is deconstructive to reconstruct in an outside of the box, totally avant-garde fashion. You guys are definitely the most dynamic and ingenuitive out of all the Capricorns right now. And I think your lives are changing most dynamically. And your natal suns are on a long-term sextile to Pluto, so you are right in the midst of the trifecta of Pluto, sextile Neptune, trine to Uranus, sort of some brilliant upstart, earthquaking kind of energy that will basically could change the way the globe works, or the way human beings behave or act. You would be at ground zero. So for those of you who know your Capricorn 3 friends, watch what their proclivities are turning into and watch to see what your interests are, because that's actually could be a pretty fair indicator of what the world is going to be changing or morphing into. Just an FYI. We have this week, though, a trine to Mars, which is also conjunct to Mercury. So a trine to Mars conjunct to Mercury, ease of speech, of taking action when it comes to signing things, doing paperwork, taking tests. You guys will really be able to get a jump start on this. Of course, this could also represent kind of authority figures causing catastrophe and whittling people easily into new contracts. I'm not saying that's you. That could be global, so it might be a red flag. But for you guys personally, this is actually a great time to take tests or give personal presentations or to speak and have your words be heard. It's a great time, and you'll want to take action on organizing things and structuring things and creating logistics for whatever you're working on, whatever your interests are. You do have a quincunx to the sun, which means hits to your ego are kind of going to be spurs in your side that are egging you on this week. And then we have, of course, the long-term square to the nodes for the next 6 months, which means your life is turning a corner right now, and you are changing in who you are, your personal development, and what your comfort levels are, starting to take more a personal, conscious authority over different aspects of your life. So you let me know in the comments below how you feel impacted by these energies, and definitely subscribe to this channel so we can grow over here on Astrology Motivation. And now come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot so we can enjoy your weekly tarot card message. I love you, Capricorn. I'll see you in the videos.